The government, through the Minister of Defense, has instead callously abdicated its responsibility and called Nigerian citizens cowards and urged Nigerians to defend themselves. Kidnapping for ransom has assumed an industrial and deadly scale never witnessed on the African continent. Our children are no longer safe in schools, and Nigerian citizens and communities are now pauperized by terrorists who extort large sums while murdering their hostages. We condemn in the strongest terms possible what has now become the government standard state policy of using taxpayers' money to pay terrorists, thereby funding and encouraging terrorism and criminality. President Buhari and his government have failed in their primary duty under Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution, which is ensuring the security and welfare of the Nigerian people. Gross injustice by President Buhari's government against the Nigerian people, such that peaceful protesters are threatened and attacked by the government security agents, while terrorists carrying out mass murder, rape, maiming, and killing of Nigerians, including women and children, are fettered, mollycoddled, and granted amnesty and paid by the government. This is tantamount to funding and supporting terrorists, encouraging murder and the decimation of Nigeria's gallant troops, and amounts to treason against the Nigerian state and people.
We also demand that there should be an end to impunity for abuse of power and sectionalism, particularly as it is manifested through his appointments. And we demand that there should be balancing the needs for competence with the need for the federal character principle. We also demand that amnesty for terrorists and abductors should stop immediately. Huge ransoms paid to criminal gangs is used by these criminal gangs to purchase arms and ammunition to attack communities. And we have seen in the recent example of Zamfara State, where some of the vehicles that were given to so-called repentant bandits were used in the attack on villages. In the ransacking of other villages. Where the president fails to fulfill his constitutional duties as stated above, we demand he steps aside or the National Assembly initiates impeachment proceedings against him on grounds of gross misconduct as provided for in Section 143 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended.
We've been talking about herdsmen or banditry, kidnappers and all. Where are those who have been arrested? We want to let the president know that every Nigerian child is his child.
The president has been told in clear terms that if he knows that he is no longer fit, fit to carry out this responsibility, he should step aside. And we should also ask that the National Assembly can adopt a doctrine of necessity of sort. It is not necessary that they can adopt a doctrine of necessity of sort to rescue this nation. The National Assembly should know that this country is failing. The Senate President and the Speaker should not shy away from responsibility.
And if they fail, we have equally called on other authorities, including the National Assembly, to proceed to impeach the President if the necessity arises, which of course we are being pushed towards that direction now. And I can tell you that when things is no longer the way it should be, there shall be a situational approach. And whatever situational approach we are giving to whatever is happening in this country will be within the context of the Nigerian Constitution, which includes protest, mass mobilization, against not only the president, but any other authorities that might have reneged on their oath of office. This is the only country we have. There is no way you want to travel from here to Lagos, from here to the east, and you will not be afraid. How many people have the fund to travel by here? It is very, very ridiculous. It is mind-boggling. It is sad. When you see some of the things that are happening within the security sector, you will be very, very sad. And that is why we are calling on Mr. President to wake up from his slumber and do what is right for Nigerians, under which he has taken the oath of allegiance to protect the life of the citizens of this country. And if he feels that he's incapable or incompetent to do so, he should therefore just step aside and let somebody who is competent. Mind you, this is some of the slogans they also had in 2015 that made Nigerians to feel that, well, we are going to be safe under this regime. But it's like everything has been thrown into the dustbin. And it is important that Nigerians should call Mr. President to order and ensure that what is necessary is being done so that people can move freely, people can do things. You can sleep with your two eyes closed. Right now, nobody is doing that. A plane has crashed, Air Force plane, it crashed just around Abuja here. Who knows what has caused it? Because they were going towards Mina. Whether they were going for operation and it has been sabotaged, of course we don't know yet.
We have been told that Mr. President does not speak too many times. He doesn't need to speak. Let him act, we will see.
We will resist any repression and oppression by anybody. We will resist that. We have that constitutional right as Nigerians, as citizens, to do that. So let us get the message very clear. We want to state once again that the governments at federal and state, they have failed us and they need to wake up.
Thanks for checking out Symphony on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.